Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Kell Brook is trying to insinuate that Errol Spence is on some shit. If you go to his Twitter page, Kell Brook said he's waiting on Errol Spence to sign the anti-doping forms for the VADA testing. Errol Spence responded, he'll sign the paperwork this week. He just said Kell Brook better be able to make way for the fight. Now, Errol Spence is going over to the UK for this fight, and I really believe that he's going to stop Kell Brook. He's going to beat him in amazing fashion. I'm hoping for a good fight, though. And I'm pretty sure Kell Brook and his team have already got all types of excuses ready. You know, there's a rumor floating around that this fight's off. I've heard rumors that this fight's being pushed back to like late June, July. But if you go to Eddie Hearn's Twitter page, I mean, he said that the fight's not off. Kell Brook seems to want the fight. You know, he seems to want it. But like I said, all the excuses are getting ready. They're gearing up for all the excuses, man. You know, he's having trouble making weight. Or, you know, he's coming off a really bad injury, you know, to his eye socket. Triple G broke his shit. What other excuses do they typically use? Yeah, you know, he wanted to go down to 154 or he didn't want to lose. Fuck Kell Brook, man. Sick of this motherfucker, man. Kell Brook is full of shit. And he's been full of shit for damn near all his career. I don't understand how everybody sticks up for Kell Brook. Like, how you the top welterweight? Like, how you a top dog in the division when the only fight we know you from is fucking one fight? And that's Sean Porter. And it's not even like you blew Sean Porter out the water, pause. It's not even like you beat him like that bad. Like, you didn't even stop him, you didn't knock him down. You was hugging this motherfucker every chance you got like you fucking ballroom dancing. So, how are you the top dog when we only know you from one fight? And then you got a slew of JoJo Dans, Kevin Bizier's. Like, y'all talk about Spence's record. Okay. Spence is an upcoming fighter. He hasn't had a title shot yet, right? Some people say that. He hasn't fought a top 10 opponent. Okay, so what has he been doing the last couple of years? Working his way up the rankings, the IBF rankings, so that he could get a title shot. Everyone in the welterweight division is running from him. How long did it take him to get that fight with Bundu? Wasn't even next in line for the title shot. If I recall, Lamont Peterson was offered to fight with Errol Spence, and he turned that fight down. Keith Thurman turned that fight down. It wasn't not an IBF eliminator, but Keith Thurman turned down a fight with Errol Spence. What's everyone saying? Oh, he's got to pay his dues. Cool, let him pay his dues. Let him fight in the IBF eliminators. He's been doing that. He beat Chris Algieri. He beat Leonard Bundu. Now, his next opponent is Kell Brook. So Kell Brook has to defend his title against Errol Spence. The president of the IBF said there won't be any interim bouts. There won't be any unification bouts. His next fight has to be against Errol Spence. And that's what we have, seemingly, right? Errol Spence versus Kell Brook. Right in Kell Brook's backyard. So I ask you again, how is Kell Brook the number one welterweight when he's only beating Sean Porter and a slew of fucking bums? I'm not saying Errol Spence is the number one welterweight, but their opposition, similar. You know, it's funny when you call him a motherfucker number one based off of what he could potentially do to other people in the welterweight division, but he hasn't done anything to those guys. He hasn't fought Keith Thurman. He hasn't fought Manny Pacquiao. He hasn't fought Danny Garcia. He hasn't fought any of those guys. So what are we basing this status off of? Again, potential, right? Just like what we're doing with Spence, right? We're basing our opinions on Errol Spence on his potential to be a star, right? So similar to Kell Brook. Now, the excuses. He's dropping all that weight. And it's not even a relatively short amount of time, but he's dropping a lot of weight. That's gonna be one of their fucking excuses. You know, they didn't want this fight. They didn't really want this fight, man. High risk, low reward. It took him forever to fucking make the fight. He was trying to fight everybody else, not named Errol Spence. He tried to go after Pacquiao, Cotto, Amir Khan. They don't want to fucking fight you, dog. We know Pacquiao don't want to fight Kell Brook. We know that shit. And Amir Khan, I mean, I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest with you. But that fight didn't materialize. So this fight makes sense. He's defending against his mandatory, just like he did against Kevin Bizier, Jojo Dan, just like all those guys. So what's the problem? There wasn't this much craziness when he was trying to defend against those guys. You know, he gladly signed those contracts. You know, he ducked many fighters, man. Kell Brook did duck some fighters, man. Who'd he duck? The fuck is his name? Timothy Bradley. You know what? I don't know. Timothy Bradley been on some bullshit lately too. He might have ducked Kell Brook. Miguel Cotto, Rock Nation. They all some fuck boys. Jesse Vargas. He should have fought Jesse Vargas. And this is why, you know, and I mentioned this shit before. He should have fought Jesse Vargas because it would have been a unification bout. They were so close to signing that contract. And then motherfuckers can't avoid you when you got 2 belts. Motherfuckers can't avoid you. If you had the WBO belt and the IBF belt, come on, man. You might have made Pacquiao retire. So, Kell Brook had options, man. You know, at the end of the day, Kell Brook is just afraid of Errol Spence. He's afraid. And if this fight, and you know what? And I've been hearing all these rumors. If this fight don't get made, how y'all going to defend Kell Brook? How do you defend Kell Brook if this fight doesn't get made and he decides to go down to 154 and fight? How do you defend that shit? Man, he about to get his ass whooped, man. I'm going to love every minute of that shit. He getting stopped. There ain't no way around that shit. This motherfucker getting stopped. Easy. He getting stopped. Easy. Cold in his motherfucking tracks. And they going to run up to 154 after that. And they going to continue fighting bums. And all the excuses. Oh, I was having trouble making weight. My eye injury wasn't 100% healed. You know, all that bullshit. Fucking Kell Brook. I don't know why you motherfuckers like Kell Brook. He ain't done shit. You know, he ain't done shit, but he's had lots of opportunities to do something, to make a name for his fucking self. But he never did it. Motherfucker #1 based off fucking potential. Get the fuck out of here. Got one motherfucking name on your resume, Sean Porter. You ain't shit. This motherfucker ain't shit. Errol Spence been looking for a fight for a minute, man. None of these motherfuckers want to fight him. Nobody wants to fight him. So, let me know what y'all think of that fight. Kell Brook think he's slick trying to throw shade at Errol Spence about the VADA testing, the drug testing. That's another one. That's another motherfucking thing he's trying to do. So, Kell Brook versus Errol Spence sometime in May, June, sometime, shit, I don't know. Really don't matter. It's going to be the same result. Then you had this motherfucker Errol Spence sitting on the show for how long? This motherfucker ain't fought since, damn, was that the summer of last year? Shit, man, motherfucker been waiting on you for a minute. And you ain't been coming through. You looking scared as fuck, man. So, this will probably be Kell Brook's last fight at welterweight after he gets knocked out. And, you know, maybe after that he could become a trainer or some shit like that. Or he could become a baker. Yeah, you know, after this, Kell Brook could probably open up his own bakery and he could sell chocolate brownies, right? Like in the shapes of fists and shit. That's a good idea. Don't take my shit either, Kell Brook. You listening to my shit? Don't take my motherfucking idea. I know you kind of sweet anyway, right? You want to make some fucking brownies? Yeah. Some fucking chocolate brownies. Ezekiel. Weak ass fucking. You know what? This motherfucker's so weak, man. I'm done talking about this motherfucker, man. You know, whenever the fuck you fight Errol Spence, he's getting knocked out, and all you motherfuckers are like, we didn't know. We thought Errol Spence was a hype job. Yeah, we gonna be a hype job, all right? After he beat the fuck out of Kell Brook, then Kell Brook's the hype job. Matter of fact, Kell Brook is the fucking hype job. He ain't done shit. He ain't done shit since he won that belt. All fucking bums on his record. All fucking bums. Give Sean Porter his rematch. Matter of fact, Sean Porter said he'll fight Errol Spence. That'd be a good fight. You know, after Errol Spence get done beating the fuck out of Kell Brook. You know, if Sean Porter get past Berto, that's kind of a tough fight for Sean Porter. Let's not act like Berto's hand speed ain't on another fucking level. And he got power too. And Sean Porter want to rush in and get hit with that motherfucking uppercut. It's over for him. But we're going to see a unified division at welterweight. And we eventually going to see Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence. That's the fight right there. That's the fight I want to see. And we'll see who the fuck reigns supreme at 147. Drop a comment, Hitman Boxing. I'm out this bitch.